Hello and welcome again. This is Sajal Ghafouri from Triple I YouTube channel to the beginning of chapter 5 of our CCNA 2020 CCNA certification course. Has been a long time since I've recorded lastly. That was because I was preparing for another exam to take an exam for myself. It was a Juniper exam from Juniper Networks. Juniper Networks is another company, another American company that produces the same solutions, devices, and networking courses, certifications, and technologies just like Cisco. Actually, you can see the green certificates behind me on the right. Those are the Juniper certificates, and the blue ones on the left are the Cisco certificates. So anyway, some kind of related to what I will talk about in a few moments, the certificate that I have been preparing for, and I've passed it, yes. In case you are wondering, I've passed the exam. Yeah. It was JNCIP, which is the professional certificate of data center. So it was talking about some security to the data center, some racks and other things inside the data center. So I will talking about this in the beginning of. I will mention some of those concepts in this chapter as they are common between these two certificates. Chapter 5, after the first four chapters, which we have talked about the fundamentals of everything in chapter 1, layer 2 technologies in chapter 2, layer 3 technologies in chapter 3, and finally the IP services in chapter 4, which was a big chapter. I believe it was 15 video, took about more than 4 hours, 4.5 hours of recording, and 15 video to talk about everything in the chapter 4 that Cisco wanted you to know, whether it was only about describe, knowing the theoretical concept, or to also implement and configure the lab of such technology. We did both of them as the blueprints states. So now in chapter 5 is security fundamentals. This will not make you a hacker. This will not make you even an ethical hacker. This is a very simple chapter. You will like it because you will find no complexity at all in this chapter. It's only about some basic concepts and solutions of security that you must know and apply in your network to make your network complete and out of risk. Because you can configure a network. So far, the first four chapters really makes you able to know what devices and what tools and items to correctly to purchase and buy and prepare, how to connect them all together, how to configure all those types of devices and make use of all those cables, cabling, fiber optics, Ethernet cables, etc. And you can install all of your devices. You can configure them locally. You can configure them after that lately remotely using SSH like we have talked about before, or even Telnet if you are interested in Telnet. The main course was about SSH. In the end, your network will be complete. No other thing you need to know to establish an enterprise small to medium or a campus small to medium network, and it will work correctly with no problem at all, especially you have no NAT and you have configured NAT so you can even obtain internet. No public IP addresses, that's it. You can even get internet and connect it to your network. In chapter 5, this chapter will teach you and will let you know about things that you may be not aware of, because your network might be hacked and might be accessed from any exterior side or any exterior part, external part that you want to access your network. It will be able to access your network. So there are some physical and some technological solutions that we need to know and apply to our network to protect it. Okay, so chapter 5, the fifth out of 7 chapters. I have seen some of the comments. We're talking about what are the rest of the technologies mentioned in the blueprints. Yes, because I have talked about in the very first video of this course, which was chapter 0. I've stated that the course will be of 7 chapters. The course will be of 7 chapters. We have finished 4 chapters until now, and for chapter 5 will be the security fundamentals that I'm talking about right now. Chapter 6 will be only about wireless networks, because I have mentioned like in chapter 2 and chapter 5 and chapter 1 some different and distributed security technologies, wireless technologies, I'm sorry. So what I did actually is that they are talking about various, let you allow me for one moment and catch. my pen, that I lost my pen. Yes, thank you. Okay, so what Cisco did actually is that they have mentioned wireless devices and technologies, simple technologies, security technologies in chapter 1, 2, and 5. What I did actually, to be honest, is that I have took all of those and generated the new chapter 6, which is only about wireless networks. Okay, so you will know wireless from fundamentals until you become able to configure wireless using backtracer and configure apply security upon wireless. So we will study security now. After that, we will study wireless security in chapter 6. Chapter 7 is the final chapter of this course, will be about the automation and programmability that Cisco wanted you to know in all the chapters that I have mentioned in the blueprints about automation and programmability. So without further talking, I want to start with check. Yes, we have the pen back again. Okay, so let's start with the chapter 5, the security fundamentals. In the first videos, you will notice some simple things. That's it. We are good to go finally. Okay, so we will start with some very simple concepts that you need to know. Some very simple terms. Actually, you can see that 5.1, the first subject is security concepts and programs. What I mean by concepts, I mean some simple terms that you need to know and with their identification in security environment in the security world or security chapter. The programs will be some security solutions that you want to apply and you need to apply because you will find that those are very important. Okay, and they're almost mandatory to be applied to your network for some things that you were not aware of that may threat your network. So the first term that we need to know in this chapter will be asset. Asset, as simple as I can describe it, is everything valuable inside the network that you are responsible of. We are now talking after 4 chapters that you are now a network engineer, maybe also you are at the same time a network administrator, so you are responsible of the entire network. So this is your responsibility to build, establish, operate, and maintain the network that you have started your project with. Whether it was a bank network, a small company network, a campus network, a network in your home that you want to study with, whatever, all of those in the first 4 chapters, you were able, thanks to the 4 chapters, to establish this network. Now you need to know that anything inside your network that is valuable and carries some important and valuable information is called a set. So a set is everything valuable inside your network, everything valuable stored inside your network. I'm saying valuable, I doesn't really mean like a router device. Yeah, I know router device is valuable because it's cost maybe minimum of 400 or $1,000 up to $10,000 per each router. It's okay, I know that, but this is this is not what the word asset refers to. Something valuable, correct, but it's not a device. I mean, it's documents, informations stored maybe inside documents or like passwords or like maybe some employees' salaries, etc. All those informations are called asset. So those are the informations that a hacker would want to access your network, hack your network, and steal them or take a copy of them. Okay, so those are the assets. Assets are the things that someone would want to take it from you. Okay, wanted to steal it from you. So the threat is having a danger based maybe applied upon this asset, a danger to this asset. Okay, like everything might a hacker, like so. Not always a hacker, it might be a software bug because maybe you have some important and valuable information and documents stored maybe in a server in your network. Maybe there is a server in your network, you store everything there, but maybe there is a software bug with this server related with the software of this server that make it crash every time. Maybe it make it lose its hard disk, maybe it makes like reset to default and then it will erase everything inside it. So this is a big disaster when for no reason you will find you have lost all your data just because of a small bug. Okay, and also environment disaster. I forgot this here. Yes, environmental disaster. Environmental disasters is like fire or maybe water, fluid water, anything that might make your devices get corrupted. So this is called a disaster. Also, if you remember, I believe also we can call the environmental disaster term on the loop. You remember in Hispanic tree in the chapter 2 we call it a storm, and we said that there will be disasters if we connected the switches in a closed circle. We will have a disaster. Okay, correct. So a threat is any danger that might be applied to your asset, which are your valuable and your important information and documents inside your network. So those are the main three things that we need to know, and actually all of those things will not be able to apply threat to my asset if there was no vulnerability in the first place. Vulnerabilities are the weakness or the weak points in my assets and my networks that do allow some the to allow some other things to apply a set to my to apply a threat to my assets, to apply a threat to my network and my documents. Some of them we can call vulnerabilities, I'm sorry, others we can't. Like what I mean is that maybe there are some vulnerabilities in my network that would make a hacker able to hack my network. That would make maybe any other thing, not just a hacker, maybe someone to access my network physically. And I will talk about physical access and physical protection in the upcoming video. It's very important to know. But like maybe a software bug, how do I know about this? Because I've just received a new software. We can, in some cases, ask the companies this is stable, this image, new software update upgrade is stable. They can confirm if it's stable or not, and we can trust their talk. We can trust the technical support team of such company, and then we can apply the new software upgrade to my devices in my network. Sometimes maybe this company will not cooperate with such thing. They will not inform us and they will not confirm to us whether this new software upgrade is trusted, is stable or not. So in this case, you will have to play your luck. You will have to depend on your luck or whatever might happens. Maybe because the old software do already have some bugs, or maybe the new software have some new features that you really need to use. So you will apply the new upgrade. So it's either a stable upgrade and that's it, we are good. It's a stable version, new version, or it's not. And if it was not, then it have a software bug. So this is not a vulnerability really. Because what can I do? I got a confirmation from the company that it's stable, but later on we have discovered that there is a bug in the software, and this bug cost me maybe losing a lot of assets in my network. So we can like fix some vulnerabilities. We can be aware of some vulnerabilities. I'm sorry, in my network. This is a new term to me, so I keep saying it wrong. I'm sorry. But in other words, in other terms, maybe in other cases, we can do nothing actually. We can be cautious, but be still maybe maybe still posed, or maybe you still be facing some threats on our network, like maybe even environmental disaster. Environmental disaster, it's called disaster. It's not called maybe an environmental mistake or maybe some type of looseness from you. Not this way. Disaster means that a fire happens to the entire building. So it happens to the entire building with all the floors. What can you do in this case? Maybe there is a tornado, maybe there is a storm, everything that happens in different lands in Asia and Africa, Europe, America, whatever. Things happens in this way. You can't guess environment, and you can't always get the environment, maybe even earthquakes. So these things do happen and they cause a threat to your network because they maybe even you have like some type of earth working, ground working for civil engineering workers, which way maybe for some mistaken things, and this happens. I have heard of this a lot. Maybe they will cut the fiber optic cables that are buried under the ground. So you can't guess this, but you can do your best to strengthen your vulnerability points in the network and also to eliminate the threats as much as possible. We can deal with maybe like 10, 20 of solution and of security solution to avoid hackers and to eliminate the hacker threat at all. But some things we can do some actions about them, some others we cannot actually. We can do half of the precautions procedure, but not 100% of the precautions or not 100% of strengthening our network. So we will do our best, and in the end, we hope that nothing wrong comes to our network or applies to our network. So basically, these are some of the threats, and some, I'm sorry, these are not all of them are threats. Some of the terms, basic terms that you need to know. Cisco wants you to know about network security. Just as I informed you, you will not be a hacker studying this chapter, but you know how to defend your network. This is like registering in a new karate course. After that, you find that karate is a type of defending yourself, not type of art that is fighting art of defending yourself. It's not about attacking like hackers. Okay, I believe that was kung fu, and that happened to me like maybe 15 years ago when I have registered myself in a new karate course. I was really happy that now I know how to maybe attack or do whatever things to protect myself. After that, I found that karate is only about defending yourself, not about starting the attack. Okay, so anyway, this security chapter will be only about how to protect yourself, not about to attack other networks at all, not even in ethical hacking. But it's very important to know from the beginning to the end. You will find that all the topics that will be discussed in this chapter, maybe 90% of them, you will find it in every network in the world right now, these days. You can see how important and mandatory this chapter is, and you can know now why did Cisco establish an entire security chapter in the new CCNA. There was a CCNA security actually, which is this one on the left, on the very left. It was a CCNA security. That's it. It was only about security and dealing with firewalls and security solutions and configuring the ASA firewalls, the old generation of firewalls of Cisco. But in the new one, there is only a CCNP security, which is very advanced and complex of security, complicated, I'm sorry. And these new simple concepts are generated in a separated chapter and the new CCNA. So those are only few terms that I've discussed right now. In the upcoming video, we'll start with how to mitigate or how to decrease all this threat, or actually, if those were the security concepts and the terms, what are the security programs that I can apply, really do apply it myself as a network engineer to avoid all that threat and vulnerability. So I hope this video as an introduction was simple and clear to you. Just in case it wasn't, you can just comment down below in the video of our channel. You can also subscribe it on YouTube, and please follow me on the upcoming video where we will talk about the mitigation process and security programs. So thank you for timing, and I will see you on the upcoming video. Thank you.